My name is James Chambers. I am the general manager of the New Hampshire office, the East Coast office here, as well as being one of the applications specialists for our professional services teams. I am originally a mechanical engineer who moved into the IT realm when things took off, and I was once a user of Bluebeam, and then was fortunate enough to be able to join the company. As Annalise said, Bluebeam really has been focused on AEC solutions throughout its tenure. And again, you're joining us to talk a little bit about enhanced project collaboration for real time. So leveraging things like Bluebeam's cloud-based storage and web hosting solution, Studio. We can host virtual meetings that enable remote project participants and partners really globally to collaborate. And we'll demonstrate how project teams can use the Studio sessions as well as Studio projects simultaneously or separately to really be able to participate in lifecycle project workflow, be that remote, desktop, field, wherever you are. So again, implement some digital workflow throughout the span of the project lifecycle, from basically from site to office, from surveying to field, all the way through your workflow uses and utilizations. Create some optimized PDFs that seamlessly transition from the office to the field. We'll talk a little bit about our 2D mockup, as well as our 3D capabilities with our plugin technologies to all of the 3D devices that we have out there, Revit, Navisworks, and things like that. And then again, we'll really round trip the whole conversation by talking about how we can leverage Bluebeam and our cloud solution for real-time collaboration. What we intend to do here at Bluebeam is really allow you to utilize what you produce or receive every single day, which are these rich vector-based PDFs, and think of everything that I'm showing you today as it might really relate to you throughout the various stages of the project lifecycle. So whether we're talking about the initial side of things and design review, whether we work through the lifecycle a little bit and start to talk about bids or estimates or takeoff or punch and back check, when we go mobile and take people into the field to do site work on their iPads or slates or surfaces, whatever they might be, all the way through to closeout and project completion, and all the way even to facilities management and turnover documents. You now have this rich vector-based linked PDF that can really be utilized throughout various stages of the project lifecycle. Today we're going to cover, again, general overview. We'll talk about document setup, Redline mockup, and Studio. I'm going to be introducing a lot of the newer features of 2015 into this, and I'll let you know what they are as I start to talk about them, because I'm very excited about the new features we have. And then again, throughout the entirety of this webinar, please feel free to leverage the question, the Q&A box. We have some Bluebeam representatives that are eager to answer the questions you have, as well as our reseller partner here as well. So that being said, let me jump out of this and jump into something a little bit more typical. And we're going to talk about some basics for now, but I'm going to introduce a few tips and tricks. We'll talk about the interface itself and some nuances that really make Bluebeam such a great tool. The interface itself, for those that have any kind of CAD background, we really try to mimic a lot of the ribbon-driven, ribbon-esque-driven environments, and we leverage the profiling aspect of things that really allow you to change the way this interface looks so that it can be more helpful or more intuitive to the workflow that you're looking to do. So we have this profile gentleman here under the view menu, and if, for instance, I was going to jump out into the field and do a punch walk, if I pull down to the punch profile and click on that, you will notice that the interface changes, various menus and tabs will open up accordingly, and my tool chest preloads with all of the applicable punch keys or symbols or markup tools that I might need as I start to do that particular workflow. Adversely, if I go to profiles and jump down to something like simple, then the world becomes a much cleaner place. And here I might just have three very simple markup tools, one for my highlighter, one for my cloud tool, and maybe a callout tool for marking up and annotating where I need to be. So again, the interface can be highly customizable and really can reflect the workflow that you're looking to achieve. Other very nice and unique things about what the interface can do here, especially when we talk about working in these large format plans, is I actually have the ability up here to split this document a number of different times. So in the lower left-hand corner, I'm going to split the screen once horizontally, and then I'm going to split it again to now split this document into 3 different locations. Why would I want to do that? Well, maybe I have the original document on this larger screen, and then I have Rev B and Rev C over here. Or maybe I'm looking at a coordination overlay, and I have my existing plans here, I have my MEP, and I have maybe my structural or whatever it is here. Point being, I can actually synchronize these screens and windows to give me the ability to zoom into one area and have all of the remaining screens navigate to the same area. As I start to pan around, you'll notice that they follow. So again, this makes coordination, design review, things like that really super helpful and super easy to do. I don't have to view the same screen at the same synchronized way. I can turn off sync and maybe open up a specification document in this window. And right-click is your friend in Bluebeam. Right-click and you will get many new options and features available to you. So I will right-click here and bring up a web tab. I will now open up the internet inside of this application. So now I could browse to a specification, look at a product part, look at maybe a SharePoint or whatever it is that I need to. I can go and view and browse web-based content without having to leave this application. So not only can I visually look at things, but maybe I could grab information from one window and move them to another. So the interface becomes a super helpful place. Let me unsplit these and go back to a single window again. And let's talk a little bit about document setup. And this is something that as we move forward in working with these larger format plans, I'm going to hit my tab access here in the upper corner and move down to thumbnails, which, as its name suggests, is going to give me a nice preview of every page inside of this multi-page document. So this is a 36-page document, and as we start to combine and compile these pages together, you might not have a standardized naming. It might be that some of these sheets have come from different disciplines. And what Bluebeam allows you to do is automatically relabel these pages. So I'm going to use something that I have inherent in here, which is my title block in the lower right-hand corner. And here, this is where I could create a page label, and I could select a region. I will tell you that this document has come from a native application, so it's come from an AutoCAD or a Revit or something like that. But here I can select that one region. I could hit underscore and select a second region here, so I'll grab maybe the drawing title at the same time. And then I'll even grab another underscore and label this something like Valley College, Technical College, there we go, and hit OK. And what this essentially will do is relabel every single page to be exactly what I want them to be. So now what this has done is it has very quickly relabeled every one of these pages to be a standardized naming convention, exactly what I want it to be. So again, very, very helpful for me to be able to relabel pages to see what I need to see. The next part of this process of working with these larger combined document sets might be that you want to bring them together so that you can look at them holistically. And we're going to call on a feature that's called sets, which will allow me to bring multiple pages together and view them as one big holistic document, but still allow them to be stored and saved as separate independent files. Maybe they're on different project locations, and so on and so forth. So to do this, in this case, because this is a combined document, I can simply right-click and extract these pages and save them to whatever the project location is. But in this case, what I'm going to do is simply open up my Sets tab. I'll go to File, New, and we're going to have some new features in 2015 here, which is the categories, and I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to browse to a project location, and I can see here that my categories template has said, what do you want to start with? And construction is fine. If I look at the template, it's essentially going to take whatever that first number or letter of each page is and create a category for them to fall into. So my A sheets will be my architectural ones, my P sheets will be my plumbing, and so on and so forth. And you can change this as you see fit, but we'll leave it for standard for now. So I'm going to browse out, and I'm going to grab all of those original drawings. So here's all those pages. I'll hit Control A, select them all, and now I'll go ahead and hit OK. So this has now built me essentially a combined document. I haven't actually committed to opening any of them yet. You'll notice that the label headers or the category headers are now coming into play to show which sheet is part of which document. So it's automatically restructured the way these look. And I can view them either in this paginated large preview way, or I can look at them in a more sort of granular way with the names of the page labels as I need them. So it's not until I actually click on a document that it commits to going and opening that document for me. So again, this is where you could have all of your discipline drawings in different folders, different people could be working on them, and you're not actually opening up that 5,000-page document, you're opening up a sheet at a time, which is really going to help your resources. So this is wonderful, but what happens as these documents grow, as I add new documents into this particular set? Well, what I'm going to do now is browse and add some new files to this set, and I'll go out and select those. So here I have my first round of revisions that come in, and we'll notice that I have my architectural has just brought a whole bunch of revisions into this. And now Bluebeam is telling me, hey, this is what I'm about to do, swap these drawings for these ones, and what I'm actually going to do is stack them, and I'm going to stamp them with the word superseded so that I always know I'm looking at the latest drawing. So I'll go ahead and hit OK, and Bluebeam will bring those new sheets in and automatically stack the new drawing on the top to be the latest issued drawing, and we'll stamp the old drawing as superseded. So now as I start to browse around, and let me go find my architectural, you'll notice that now when I get to sheet A201, I'm now on Rev 1, and I now have the ability down here to see that we've now got the original issued drawing underneath that. So now here I have my original issue drawing, and then I also have the ability to scroll through and see the latest edition of the drawing. So not only will these drawings allow you to grow holistically from top to bottom, but also as your revs and your CCDs come in, they will be dealt with and be visible that way. So a fantastic way of leveraging what we call steps to be able to go and look at these drawings and be able to navigate to them. Well, navigation is a very interesting part of this. So let's talk about, again, some of the new features of 2015, and we'll talk about our batch linking capabilities, where I can now go up to File. If I were to browse into this document, I can see there are no hyperlinks on this document whatsoever. So getting to where I want to get, I would have to manually hyperlink this, and that would be a little painful. So under File, I can now jump up to Batch, where I can find all of my batch capabilities, including slip sheeting and comparison and applying different things. But in this case, I'm going to use Batch Link, and I'll use the current set because I already have it open. And I'm going to use that same technology where I'm going to go and find the source of what I want to generate these hyperlinks on. So I'll select a region, and because all of my documents do have some kind of consistent letter, number naming convention, I would say go ahead and utilize that. Again, it's sort of scanned that area and found that this is what you're looking for. So I'll go ahead and generate the search result or the link results. And here I can find that it's actually gone ahead and found all of these link options for me. So I'll go ahead and now say, hey, make that connection for me. Now, everywhere you find A201, take me to A201. Everywhere you find G100, take me to G100, and so on and so forth. So in a matter of 20 seconds, I've now actually created 130 hyperlinks on this document that were never present. So now what I can do is I can zoom into this area location, and now when I jump to, say, A201, it will automatically jump me to sheet A201. When I zoom in and look at things like callout and elevation details, it will now actually jump and hyperlink me to those callout and elevation details. So again, you have now created yourself a very dynamically linked document set that will now grow as you start to add your new revisions and CCDs into your drawing. So that's wonderful. Let's get back and talk about some fundamentals. Let's go and start to talk about some of the markup capabilities. I'm going to go ahead and close this set down. And let's go ahead and talk about marking up and show some of the new features and enhancements on 2015 that will really help with markup. So for those of you that have used Bluebeam before, simply click on the word markup and you'll notice that the command bar up here will change. We have things that are permanently available to you, all your big open, close, new, email, all that good stuff. And then as you click on the various options you want, so form, I'll get all my form field related information, and document, I get my document related stuff. But in this case, I'm going to click on markup and have all my markup tools available to me. So we pride ourselves at Bluebeam on making it very easy for you to be able to mark up this document, because that's what this is about. I want to clearly and concisely show you and indicate things that I want to change on here. So in this case, I'm going to go and grab either a text box or a call out. I'll grab a call out and say, hey, I want to indicate a CCTV camera. So I'll click here and I'll say add CCTV camera. And pretty much it's as easy as that. If you can use Word or Excel or PowerPoint, you can use Bluebeam in terms of changing the colors and the properties. It shouldn't be very difficult. So should I want this text box to be a certain color, say teal, and I want the text to be red or orange, I can change that super quickly, super easily. If I want the text to be bigger, I can change it accordingly. And again, it shouldn't be difficult to be able to change the properties in these. Maybe use color to dictate a workflow or person, a discipline, whatever it happens to be. Let's say I want to add another CCTV camera. Well, right-click is your friend again, so add a leader line and say, hey, I'll put another one right up here as well. Again, it should be easy to do these, and these are all nice and linked, and you can change those properties as you need to. I'm going to go ahead and grab a shape tool and show you, obviously the most heavily industry used markup tool is the cloud tool, and that might be great where I just want to cloud an area here. People came and said, well, we'd like to be able to combine both of these, the leader line and the cloud capabilities, because we often like to cloud an area and then say something about it. So in that case, to that respect, we brought Cloud Plus, where I could define an area and then drag an area off of there and say, issue with this wall, or whatever it happens to be. And again, this is subject to all the same things where I can change the properties and the subject and the color and everything else. And again, super quick and super easy for me to be able to define these tools. Next came the ability or the availability in 2015 where people said, I want to be able to sketch to scale. I actually want to be able to do a scale sketch in here. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I want to do when I use my sketch to scale tools is I want to calibrate this document. So I'm going to hit measure and calibrate to basically define the scale that's in here. And Bluebeam's going to say you select 2 points to define the scale. So because I have some named dimensions here, I'm simply going to click here and click here. And then Bluebeam's going to say, tell me what you want that distance to be. So I'll say, hey, let's go 6 feet, 8 inches. And now it has gone and actually calibrated that. I'll go and put a length measurement in here just to verify that that is, in fact, what I said I wanted it to be. So click, and I get my 6 feet, 8 inches. So that's great. I've calibrated this document. So let me go ahead now and grab that sketch to scale tool. And let's say I wanted to put a construction trailer in here, or I want to put a different slab. I'll go ahead and say, let's use my, my polygon tool. And I'll go ahead and click once, and you'll notice a new dialog box comes up that says, what length do you want this to be? And I'll say 15 feet. And I'll tab to the next rotation. 0 degrees is great. Now I'll say make this 8 feet. And I want to go down minus 90. So now I have, oops, it looks like I do that again. 8 feet. Tab over and do minus 90. And I'll do again the same thing where we'll do 15 feet, and we'll do tab from 15 feet and do minus 180. And now I can just actually hit C to close that shape, and I've actually drawn this to scale now. So this is physically drawn to scale, and I'm starting to get what I need to get in terms of my distance and dimensions. So those are just a couple of options. We'll talk a little bit about inserting images. We all know that images really do paint 1,000 words, so I'm going to go ahead and grab an image and drop that in here, and that's great that I can place images directly into this document. But what if I were to place many of these in here? I'd start to cover the underlying content, making it difficult to read this plan or whatever it was that I was looking at. So what if I were able to assign or place images directly onto markups? Well, that would be wonderful. So what we have is the ability to, on top of any markup, so even if I say issue with this wall, if I click on this Cloud Plus, I can right-click, go to Capture, and browse to a file location, and go and grab some images that happen to reside on my computer. So I'll go grab issues with this wall. I'll grab a handful of these images and just hit open. This will now take those images and actually assign it to this markup with this little icon here that we call our capture icon. And now what I can do is click on that, and it will bring up a great photo viewer that will allow me to now cycle through all of those images to actually view whatever those images were that were assigned to it. Should I want to, I can add new images either directly from the camera on my laptop or my iPad or my Surface. I can also add video. So new for 2015 on Capture is the ability to add video. So now moving pictures and moving sound and really do paint 1,000 words. So you can imagine your field-based adaptations to this where you're doing site inspections or punch walks, and you can now really add a multitude of great imagery and video and assign them to specific markups, which is phenomenal. The last markup tool I'd like to show you actually isn't under the markup menu, it's under Edit, but that is our snapshot tool. And Snapshot basically gives you the ability to capture content that already exists and allow you to reuse it. So let's say I wanted to sort of concisely illustrate that this door here, I'd like to add another one right here. Well, instead of trying to hand sketch it and do what I have to do, I'm just going to capture this and right-click and paste it. Now I can move that, and I'm not in AutoCAD or Revit, but I have now very cleanly and concisely illustrated I'd like to put a new door here. I can do further things to really illustrate that this is a new door. I can change the color and say whatever was black now make red, and then I could cloud it and put proposed new door, lead a line on there, and things like that. The point is, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm allowing myself to capture details and information from one area and reuse them on other parts of the drawing. So this is wonderful. Bluebeam captures that information in what we call the tool chest. So let me go and just view the recent tools. And basically, I can, if I want to show that same snapshot again somewhere else, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I literally can bring it out and locate it onto the drawing wherever I need to. These tool chests can be created as per your need. You can design and then add as many of these tool chests as you want to by simply hitting Manage Tool Sets and Add. And then you got the option to literally drag and drop these wherever you want to into your tool chest and then distribute them to other team members for reuse whenever needed. So you can start to standardize on those markup tools. So an amazing feature there. So we've started to place a lot of these markups on here. Let's quickly show you the markup list and show you the new features in 2015. The markup list basically is your accountability. It's going to track everything that we have on this document, a direct correlation between the markup list down here and the drawing up above. And this is where you get the what, why, who. I can, again, maybe set a status where I could accept or reject things, issues, pieces of information, so I can use the markup to generate workflow, the approval process, and things like that. I can also create custom columns here for whatever I need to. You literally click on this gear wheel to manage the columns and add a new column and give it the type of column you want to so you can display the information you want. I'm going to summarize the information here. I can kick it out to something like CSV. I can create a PDF summary report, and for those that haven't seen it, I'll make a super quick one here and essentially attach it to the original PDF file. And now I'm doing your administrative work. I am basically creating a multi-page PDF document that is now going to categorize every single markup, who did it, where they did it, with a miniature preview. When I click on it, it will hyperlink me back to the original content. So super helpful. New for 2015, though, is the capture summary. So this will be great, again, for your field reports or your punch type situations where you want to create a visual report now of what has happened. So now you get the drawing, all of the great content information about the drawing. You get a link back to where the markup resides, but now you also get this great field-based report with every single image and a hyperlink back to that image. And this, again, can be passed downstream to anybody with any PDF software so they can look at this type of report. So that's a lot about PDF markup, commenting, annotation, document setup, in more of a static type environment. I'm going to, before I jump into Studio, I'm going to just introduce some of the 3D capabilities that we have here within Revu. Under File, I have a 3D Editor button here, and we have a plugin into Revit, SolidWorks, Navisworks, things like that. And if you produce either an IFC, a U3D, or a 3D PDF out of those applications, you can now bring that into into any document. So I will create a space into which I want to place that model, and then I'll literally browse to wherever I have exported that information. So in this case, I'll say, here's my U3D model. Notice it was only 500K, so very small file size compared to what the original Revit model might have been. And now I have a fully immersive environment within a PDF document. I can browse in here, zoom, annotate. I can even click on parts. And if I were to view my 3D model tree, you'll notice that I'm actually picking out all the way down to the Revit information or the model information that was available inside of the model. So here I now have my stair detail, my door detail, all of that element information is now still available right down to that granular level, which is phenomenal. You can mark up, edit, and annotate right within this as well. So should I want to take this staircase detail, maybe move part of it out of the way so I can see underlying content, I now have the ability to do that, which is, again, phenomenal. And then all of my markup tools will still work, so I can mark up clouds, add text boxes, and so on and so forth. And even cycle through views that might be created. So if you had drive-throughs or walk-throughs, you can set those up. So again, this isn't just 2D, you have 3D capabilities, and this is still just a PDF file that you can now send to somebody without giving up the weight, the bulk of your Revit or your model information if you just really want to clearly and concisely annotate, illustrate something at this level. So we were talking, obviously, a lot of static-based workflow. Let's talk now about that cloud and how Bluebeam is leveraging the Amazon S3 cloud to allow real-time document collaboration and storage. So again, under the command menu, command bar, we'll see the Studio icon. And for those that haven't seen this, this was around from 8.5 of Bluebeam and higher. Basically, I need to log into Studio, so I use this little login icon. If you've never done this, you'll be prompted to create an account. It literally asks you for an email address and a password. So I'll go ahead and enter my password here to log into Studio. And now you can log into Studio from anywhere, from any machine. So you now have the availability to come to a dashboard scenario where you can see all of these Studio sessions that you've either created or attended, or the Studio projects that, again, likewise, you've either created or attended. So in this case, I'm going to start a Studio session, and I'll call this one, we'll call this one Design Review 50%. And I'll go ahead and I'll add a file in here, and I'll browse over and grab my, let's just grab my A201 sheet. Go ahead and hit OK. Incidentally, I can add up to 100 different files to each Studio session. I now can control what people and participants can do. Do I want them to save the file or print the file? No, I really don't. But I do want people to be able to mark up, add markup alerts, and maybe add documents. I'm not going to restrict this by email, attendees by email address right now, just because I'm going to have my good colleague join. But the other thing I can do, and again, new to 2015, is session expiration. So I can say, this is going to be a review meeting that is going to be good through tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So I'll go ahead and hit OK. It'll take those files, it'll upload them to the S3 cloud, which is triple encrypted, FISMA compliant for a lot of our government agencies and municipalities. And then I can either add the attendees by simply clicking the plus button and typing in their email address, or I can hit the address book and go straight into my Outlook and pick my contacts as I need to. I can type a message in here. Hey, please join my design review meeting. It'll be available until tomorrow. And I have the ability to add up to 500 attendees. The minute you hit OK, what it's going to do is send an invitation to those participants. Now, the wonderful thing is that if they have Bluebeam, they'll open that email and they'll be asked to join the session. If they do not have Bluebeam, they'll be asked to download the free viewer, and then they'll be able to join your session and have all of the markup capabilities available to them while they're inside of your session. So you're really not mandating anybody that you want to participate with you or contribute in these review sessions purchase anything, which is phenomenal. So it looks like Angela, who is over in our Florida office, so she's several thousand miles away from me, is already in the session marking up, commenting, and annotating. So I'm going to add another comment myself, and maybe I'll add a cloud, and I'll cloud this door and maybe add a capture to that, and click on that and add capture and add images. So again, I really do have complete capabilities, all the exact same markup capabilities. I'll say we needed to add this, are still available to me. Notice that I can click on my own comments and have the ability to move, edit, alter, and delete those, but I do not have the ability to click on any of the participants and move, edit, or alter theirs. So everybody gets their own freedom of speech within the studio environment, which is phenomenal. That's what we want. Some great features that I can do. If anybody has ever been in a scenario, imagine this is a 1,000-page document or whatever it happens to be, and I'm trying to ask Angela, what is she doing? Where is she in the document? I don't know. I can actually hover over her name and follow her. So as I follow her, I'm actually taken to where she is at this particular time in the drawing, and I'm seeing where she is. So again, this takes the ambiguity out of, well, I'm in this document and this sheet in the upper right-hand corner. No, I'm following you. I know where you are. So I'll stop following her because I know she doesn't like it. And I'll continue to sort of add some markups and annotations. Another great thing that I can do is alert people. So I might have wanted to add, let's go ahead and use that snapshot tool, and I'll grab this door and I'll paste it over here. And maybe what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right-click on this. I'm going to go to Alert Attendees, and I'm going to choose Angela. And now what I'm going to do is alert her that she needs to go and pay attention to this. The next time she comes into Studio, she'll actually be taken to that area and shown that this is something that I needed to bring her attention to. So again, a great way of being able to do that. Again, I want to point out the contextual relationship of Bluebeam, of Studio. Let me zoom into this area here, and I am going to literally add something in the chat window down here to say, please review. I think we need another door. So this will now add a chat window to the studio conversation that as soon as Angela or any other participant clicks on that, it will take them to exactly where I was when I asked the question. So again, there's a contextual relationship behind when I asked the question and where I was in the document. So again, none of that ambiguity. And it looks like Angela has replied, I will make the necessary adjustments to the plan. So again, you're having these conversations irrespective of your location or where you happen to be in the project location, and you're able to have these real-time document conversations. Now, I can at any time add new documents. I can also add new participants whenever I want. So I might want to bring in a certain discipline and have them come and join the session for a couple of days and then kick them out. I also have the ability, again, to completely set controls and permissions behind the studio projects. I can change the end date. I can invite new attendees, and then I can change their permissions as to what it is that they can do while they're inside of the studio session. So it looks here like Angela has alerted me. So if I click to my notifications panel, I can now see that if I click on that, it'll take me to where she was when she asked the question and showed me the alert status. So I have that ability. I can now come one step further and actually right-click and either reply or set a status and say, you know what, I accept that. So now it will show that I have accepted something that she has proposed. So I'm now, again, using this as part of the acceptance in the workflow process. Now, I can leave this session whenever I want. I'll go back to my dashboard scenario and join other studio sessions if I want. There are no limits to how many studio sessions you can create, as many as you desire. Or I could alternatively finish this. So I can, upon finishing it, I'll be prompted to kick out all of the participants, and I'll be asked if I want to generate a report or not. So let me just show you what one of these reports might be. It might be that I need to really, again, do my meeting minutes of this PDF conversation. I'll go ahead and hit OK and make a PDF package. I'll save it to my desktop. And now what I've done is essentially, again, created this a fantastic meeting minute of documenting the entire project collaboration meeting we've just had. So I get the name of the project, the date. I get a list of the attendees with actually a hyperlink to their email addresses, the list of the documents we were discussing, and then essentially a chronologically archived set of the entire activity of what's happened throughout this studio project. And it's all hyperlinked. Should I want to click on any of these line items, it will take me to where I was or where that question was posed. So you do have this complete accountability that is still just a PDF document that can be added to the document and can be used for storage, for reference, even being used for litigation, where people mandate people join the session to review the contract, review the document, approve and sign off on it, and you have that level of accountability now because it's all right here. Now, when I leave this session or finish this session, it will kick Angela out of here. I don't want to, in this case, save any files, and I don't want to generate the report. But it will essentially boot Angela out of there. Any of the participants that were in the studio session will be kicked out. And essentially, the fragmented document that was now hidden all over their computer will then be deleted. And then within a 48-hour time frame, it will be deleted off the cloud server. So you will be the sole recipient of all of your information back. Because again, this is about you leveraging this cloud, having your review conversations, and then getting your information back. Let's talk a little bit about the second part of this, which is studio projects. And you start a project the exact same way, but essentially Studio Projects is really, I'll log into one right now. Think of this as a DMS. This is a light DMS, so it's like SharePoint for free, with the ability to upload new files on new folders. So I could upload a new file here. Let me go just browse out and grab that document that we were discussing. This was my agenda. And I can bring that document up into this studio project. And now anybody else can have access to this information. And much like a SharePoint or a ProjectWise, you have the ability to right-click, check in or check out a document. So I can check this document out, open it up, comment, markup, annotate, do whatever I need to do here, cloud some areas, and then I can check that document back in, and it will prompt me for the ability to say add a comment. So I could say remove light fixture, or whatever it happens to be, check that document in, and now that document has gone through its round-trip life cycle of being in storage, checked out, so it's now read-only to everybody else, and then checked back in again. You have the ability to right-click and look at the revision history behind that document, see the life cycle of what's happened to that document as it's resided up inside the storage. You can also click back at any one time and open the previous revision or restore it back to its state. So Studio Projects really gives you this ability to upload any type of file, so whether they're PDFs or Excel or site photography, and it just provides you that fantastic single source location for where all your project data and collateral will reside. Other amazing things you can do here is with one mouse click, you can literally right-click, and I could right-click and add to a new studio session. So in one click, I can check this document out, look at a new session. I'll call this one Project 1, 2, 3, and start myself instantly a new studio session right from within the projects, and again, allow myself to be able to get in and out of that as I need to. And now I can jump in between studio sessions and projects and go back. You'll notice here a little arrow, a little indicator that actually says this document is already checked out. Do you want to join that studio session to look at the document and review it? Again, you have amazing permissions and hierarchy over this entire studio project. Another great thing here is you have the ability to share links. So I could actually manage the links that I have that are on these documents. If I have documents that have links in them, I could come in here and look at those links and actually put an expiration date behind those links. So I can right-click and share link. And what that will essentially do is allow me to take this and really provide that link to anybody anywhere around the world that doesn't even have Bluebeam. You're basically giving them a URL web link now to go and view this document. Again, you could password protect it or put a longevity behind how long you want that available to you. Other great settings that you can do inside of Studio Projects is, again, you have the full user access capabilities. You can also do that now down to the finite folder level. So you could have your discipline-specific folders in here and just set separate permissions to those to allow maybe just my structural folks to see their files, my architectural folks to see theirs, and so on and so forth. So you can put now individual folder permissions to really allow access throughout this entirety of this project. So again, some great capabilities for leveraging that cloud to not only store all of the collateral and file information you need, but also break that out into these fantastic real-time collaborative studio sessions to have that real-time collaboration experience.